Welcome to Lifeness with Logan Hall. It's life, it's business, it's Lifeness. Live from the StriveVenta.com studios, here's Logan Hall.
All right. I love that song. It doesn't matter how many times I hear it. My little baby loves that song. I think most people might be getting a little sick and tired of it. But how can you? It's just talking about being happy. And it's a happy day. It's always a happy day when you're listening to Lifeness. It is life. It is business. It's Lifeness. As always, appreciate all the listeners out there. Make sure you share us on your social media. Things are getting easier to listen to around here. You can easily go to iTunes and download the Lifeness app. It is sweet. Man, it is so much easier to listen to. One click, you got the catalog of all the shows. Get to it. Check it out. Here we go. Another episode of Lifeness. Got a great guest in here. Some people that have really become some good friends to my family. The Clarks. Some of you listeners out there know Justin Clark with the Honey Foundation. He's been on the show many times talking about his awesome story about his brother and influence to start the charity and what they're trying to accomplish. And we got his better half. He's a really good half, but he's got a better half just like most men do. And that would be his wife, Jamie Clark. Jamie, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
My pleasure. It's super awesome to have you on. And the reason we got Jamie on is the timing's kind of right. Jamie is a swim instructor. She teaches private and semi-private swim lessons in the West Valley, and we're going to talk more about that. But being that it's summertime, pool safety is at the top of the list.
Yep.
Whether it's, just you and your kids in the backyard, or you got a barbecue and there's 10 kids running around the pool. Who's watching them? How do you make sure it's a safe environment? What happens if those kids do fall into the pool? Do they have the tools and the skills to survive? And the name of Jamie's company is called Survival Swim. I've got a really awesome water bottle she gave me today. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Survival Swim. Go to www.survival-swim.com. It's a great thing, you guys. And we were talking right now before the show about how swim lessons needs to be a requirement like learning how to be potty trained,
right?
Learning how to eat solid foods,
right?
Learning how to talk, learning how to walk, learning how to swim needs to be in that list, right, Jamie?
I agree. Yes.
And why is that?
It's a survival skill. Like if you need to survive in water, if you ever got thrown in water, if let's say we got flooded or something happened bad, tsunami, whatever. I mean, you need to know how to swim. It's so important. It's a survival skill. And that's what I tell my instructors. We're saving lives. That's what I tell them.
100% you guys save lives. You teach the kids how to save their own lives.
Exactly.
That's how I've always put it. And you guys have heard me speak about my baby, Avonlea. She's been through a different type of swim lessons, kind of similar, but a different style to where I've always said that she now can save her own life. Right. If she were to fall into the pool.
Yep.
It's not on the parents or whoever to see her within those first, what do you have, 20, 30 seconds maybe? Mm-hmm. Or if they hit their head, you've got less than that. I mean, it is a survival skill, and it needs to be a requirement. So you guys, a lot of people don't know, you can start your kids in swim lessons as young as 6 months old. Is that right, Jamie?
Yes. Yep.
All the way up. You teach lessons to adults, right?
Yes.
I know some people who can't swim that are my age. They just never had the parents have that as a requirement, or maybe didn't grow up in Phoenix to where pool safety wasn't at the top of their list. But yet now they're here and they want to try to go to the lake and go wakeboarding or hang out in the pool with their kids. And they've got phobias.
And they're not comfortable.
At all.
Which makes their kids uncomfortable.
I'm reading this book, Baby Wise, and it's talking about what you portray as a parent. It goes right to your kids. If you're scared or you're not confident in something, they're going to feel that. They're going to latch onto that. So if you're not comfortable around a pool, how could you expect your kids to be? And is that when you see the adults come in and do the lessons, is mainly when kids enter the life and they're going to be around pools? Or is it, I just want to go to the lake and go swim and not be scared I'm going to get, fall to the bottom of the lake?
I mean, some moms, they get their kids to swim because they're not comfortable. And I tell them, why don't we get you in and we'll have you swim? And not many of them take it. But I have had, probably a handful that actually are like, you know what? My daughter just learned to swim. I want to start doing swim lessons. So
they get motivated by their kids learning how to swim.
Exactly.
I think that's pretty cool. So swim lessons are important, you guys. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what a swim lesson entails and what skills you're supposed to take away from it, some of the different terms, and trying to get to the edge of the pool or trying to roll over to float and get a breath and things like that. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here in the second segment. We're going to talk about Jamie and her life and what got her into this. So Jamie's a West Sider. I love it. She grew up at the Buckeye Pool, started as a lifeguard when you were 16 years old, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, how fun of a job was that?
It was awesome. I mean, I got to sit out in the sun and I got
get a good tan.
Right? Yep. And I got to hang out with kids because I really do. I love being around children. They're awesome. And so, yeah, I mean, I got to teach, teach swim lessons from the Buckeye Pool. It was a requirement as a lifeguard to teach swim lessons.
And water aerobics.
I taught water aerobics to the finest ladies in Buckeye.
There you go. I love it. I think that's funny, and be a lifeguard as well. So there's, a lot of skills that Jamie learned at 16 and just love being around the pool. And I mentioned when we were out at the Water Walk 5K for the Honey Foundation, and I'd be remiss to not mention that Jamie is also a huge part of the Honey Foundation. Her and Justin are the spearheads of this. It's a 50-50 deal, in my opinion, and they're both in it for a good cause. So the Honey Foundation is both Justin and Jamie Clark. And at the Water Walk, 5K Water Walk they had at Wet and Wild, I thought, how cool would it be to be a lifeguard like at Wet and Wild, or like a summer job to be a lifeguard, something like that. And that's what you did. And then one of the moms that had a kid that she'd bring to the public pool just said, "Hey, Jamie, you seem like a sweet girl. You're good with the kids. Anyway, you can stop by my house and maybe give my kids a private lesson." Is that how it started?
Yeah, pretty much. And I even talked to my, the manager at the pool, and I was like, "Is this okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I mean, it's better. That kid will get one-on-one instruction and they will learn faster." And that's what we want, And so, yeah, I started doing it in Estrella Mountain Ranch in Goodyear, where I actually lived at the time. And I started going to moms' homes, and then it just snowballed from there. Like I just kept getting referrals, and I've kept doing it every year since. So.
And that's cool. And she's turned it from a passion into a business. And most times that's how businesses get started is you have a passion for doing something to try to help people, and you're good at it, and more people want you to keep doing it. Well, and then there comes a point to like, I can't really do this and focus on it and do it well unless I turn it into a business, but yet still have the principle in mind of helping these kids learn how to swim. And we're going to talk more about the business side in the second segment. So mom said, "Hey, get some private lessons." You go over there. She starts telling another mom friend of hers that, "Hey, I've got a really awesome instructor to do these swim lessons. Can you come over to my house?" Now, I want to kind of talk about that. When you're teaching these kids how to swim, you're earning a little bit of money, and you're loving what you're doing, right? That's like, maybe a baseball player, kid who played baseball or something. He gets to do what he likes, which is teach people how to swim. And I think it's a very important thing. I think you're up there with policemen and firefighters and doctors and nurses for
Public
the fact
service,
that, one, you're giving back to our community to try to make our community better and safer.
Right.
And we need more people like that out there. And that's what Jamie Clark brings to the table. Survival Swim, again, survival-swim.com. She's all over Facebook. She's got 5 out of 5 stars, lots of reviews and testimonials. And we're going to get into the business side of it here in a little bit when we take this quick break on Lifeness. You guys stay tuned. We got Jamie Clark. Thanks. Hey guys, I'm here with a good friend of mine, John St. George, owner of Phoenix Carpet Water Restoration, home of the Spot Crew. John, tell us a little bit about your company.
Thanks, Logan. We are a locally owned carpet, tile, upholstery, and oriental rug cleaning company here in the Valley. We're happy to celebrate our 5-year anniversary, and we're giving 25% off to all new customers to call in at 602-319-8446.
So that phone number again, 602-319-8446, 602-319-8446. Call my buddy John for a free estimate today. Tell him Logan sent you. Yeah, some rock. Love it. Rock. And we're back, and it's Lifeness. That'll get you going a little bit. Is that like some Scorpions or something? I'm not quite sure. It's some hairband of something. I love it.
Winds of Change.
Winds
the
of
side
Change.
bands of Scorpions.
All right. We love it. Okay. And that's James, our producer. Good job, man. I like it. We're back. We're with Jamie Clark. Jamie's with all types of stuff. She's with the Honey Foundation. She's with Survival Swim. I know she does all types of other cool stuff for our community. But we're talking about survival swim and having these survival skills of how to learn how to swim and swim lessons. And my swim lessons started at a public pool. I grew up in the West Side. I used to go to Cortez Pool, which now is a full-on water park with water slides. I mean, it doesn't even look like a public pool any longer. But I remember my brother and I going there, and we'd be doing these swim lessons, and there'd be 6, 8, 10 kids in a lesson with one instructor.
Right.
You're not getting much one-on-one. I think, fortunately, we were around pools enough that we kind of figured it out. But I've seen the impact of having a private swim lesson, a one-on-one, especially when you're dealing with a child who's so young, 6 months, a year, 2 years. And you got some really cool stories about some of your swimmers who are around 3 years and the things that they're doing. But, let's talk about it as the business. So you do these swim lessons privately. Now, what does that mean? That people come to your pool, you go to their pool, you meet them at a public pool and at the lake? Where do you do swim lessons at?
Well, it first started out where I went to people's homes because I didn't have a pool. So I would go to their homes, and it was definitely more convenient for the moms and the kids. And then I got so many referrals and so much business that I couldn't keep up. And also I had my own babies in the pool with me. So then my husband, my wonderful husband, was like, we're building a pool and you're going to do lessons here. And I was able to do more lessons back to back and be able to serve more of my clients and teach more swim lessons. So that has gotten huge. And then it got so big that I had to hire another instructor last year to help me out because I couldn't teach all the kids and all the families that needed me.
Because it's not just a week of lessons, right?
No,
that
I
it takes.
have ones that go all summer.
All summer, and it depends upon each child as their skill level and how quickly they pick it up. Some jump in there and they're like a fish. Others are like a log or a rock and sink to the bottom. So there's different skill levels. It takes different time frames. So you do go to other people's pools. Or now this summer, you said you went from one instructor and yourself last summer. You got 6 instructors that you've trained, hired, that are working for Survival Swim, giving these swim lessons.
Yes, exactly.
And all over in the West Valley?
Pretty much West Valley. We're, trying to expand. I mean, eventually we want to get all over Arizona and possibly Nevada and California. That's kind of what we're trying to, because those are big places that have lots of pools, oceans,
That only seems natural. So if there's anyone, West Valley, East Valley that's looking for some swim lessons, again, go to survival-swim.com or go to Facebook, Survival Swim. Reach out to Jamie, get in touch with her. So you do some lessons at people's houses. You do some lessons at your house. What's a better place to do a lesson?
I mean, personally, I would say if you could do it, if you have a pool, have someone come to your house and do it, because that's the pool you want your children to be safe around, like all the time. That's around them nonstop. So they need to be comfortable in their pool. I even had some kids say, I can only swim in Miss Jamie's pool. I can't swim in my pool or in the public pool.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about that and say, if you can swim in this pool, you could swim at any pool.
But if they're swimming at their own home pool, their home turf, right, their home team, their home field, there they know, and we're going to talk about some of these terms. The gorilla hands, is that what you called it?
Monkey crawl.
Monkey crawl. Monkey crawl. Talk about that a little bit and what you're trying to teach them with these terms and what they're trying to accomplish as far as the safety aspect.
So actually on my site, there is a whole skill chart, and it tells you basically what they're going to learn at different skills. And one thing is we teach them actually how to get safely out of the pool. So if they fell in, how to open their eyes underwater, kick their legs, grab the side of the pool. Either if they're not by a step, then they need to monkey crawl. So grab onto the edge of the pool and hand over hand get to the step.
That, I think, is one of the most important parts of it. And the teaching how to float is certainly part. Teach them how to swim. But I think to get to a step or the love seat or something to where they can reach the edge of the pool, well, now they're buying some time. Right? They've got something that's holding them up. And then the next step to do that, the crawl down the side of the pool to the step where they know the step is, because it's their pool. And they're not only in the pool when Miss Jamie or one of her instructors is there. Mom's in the pool with them after. Dad's in the pool with them on the weekends. So they're getting extra training, getting more familiar with their pool and the exits of the pool and kind of the safety zones on that. Now, what other little skills do you teach as far as like doggy paddle? Do you teach them how to doggy paddle? Is that the first skill? I kind of remember my first swim lessons was they taught us how to professionally how to doggy